Welcome to Hollywood Already Did It, your movie podcast for movies that have been rebooted, remade, sequelized, or otherwise told time and time again. As always, I am your host, Blake Schultz, and with me is Terrence Tatum.
Hello, everyone.
And this week we are talking about the new Scream movie, which is a barrel of monkeys before we even talk about the movie, thanks to its.
Yeah.
This entire franchise has become like mirrored in nonsense and just all of it's bad. I understand all the people who are like, I'm not going to go and support this movie this weekend. They're correct. It's also not a movie worth supporting. It's
Yeah.
also coming out on the day that Paramount buys Warner Brothers, and I don't
Which
want to
just
give
feels
them
even
any
uglier.
money.
Yeah. Which, yeah,
It's
feels
all
gross.
bad. It's all bad. We went from like not paying Sydney to come back for six to firing the star for the franchise, somebody
Forcing the
else
director
quitting,
to
forcing the
quit
director to
because they
leave.
put the blame of Melissa on him. He's like, I had nothing to do with this. Then he had to leave, which sucks because I would have a Happy Death Day version of watching this would have been glorious.
Yeah, any other version of this would have been fine. I have so few nice things to say about this movie, which is funny because there are actually moments that I really enjoyed. It's unfortunate because I think it proves this is going to be a bit of a walk. Did you see Ben Affleck's comment on AI recently, where he was like,
Yes.
what we're learning is that a lot of people only want the action and only want the IPs and the characters, and they don't care about the story. And if that's what you want, fine, go watch
We'll
AI
crank that out.
videos.
Yeah.
I think this movie proved it because some of the action was really fun and I didn't care at all. And I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is the most
I
everything about this movie that's cool is drowned by the fact that it's terrible.
Yeah. Here's what's funny. You and I have had this conversation before. I don't think because of the DNA of these movies, because they're basically violent Agatha Christie movies where you're doing a whodunit, it's almost it's practically impossible in the DNA of how these movies are structured to make a bad Scream movie. However, when I left this theater, I was like, oh, this is automatically at the bottom of my list for all Scream movies because of inherent things that they just do incorrectly while doing the tropes of
No,
whatever
yeah,
Scream would always do.
this isn't there. I think you're right. There's a very real part of me that's like, this isn't a Scream movie. This is I don't know what this is. This is like a really generic, bland
It
slasher
feels
movie.
it feels like you remember when the 90s when these came out and Kevin Wilson wrote them both. But remember when Scream was like all the hype and he was like, cool, I'm gonna go do it again. He did I Know What You Did Last Summer. This feels like the I Know What You Did Last Summer to the Scream franchise.
Yeah, and I think part of it, and we'll get deeper into this, but part of it is like it's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy at this point. And I think what makes these movies fun is why the first one will probably always be the best one. And it is that everything it is satirizing and making fun of is fresh.
Hmm.
And I think it's why two and three also work because they have so much to use.
Yeah.
And four, really, four is
And
I really like four.
I think what helps five and six, and this is why I love six, but I think what five and six works is because you took a fresh voice. Like Radio Silence came in and was like, we're gonna do our version or what we do with this. But then to have that freshness, that newness, that like, oh, I can feel in the DNA of just how this is filmed, how this is the intensity of everything, this feels different. To then go back to, hey, Kevin Williamson, you did this once before back in the 90s. Let's do that again. It then goes to immediately feeling stale. And you're like, oh, this feels old very fast.
And I think what we have to remember is that he wrote that movie. Wes Craven's directed
Correct.
that movie, and it this we'll start getting into the spoilers and the story and everything else because it really to gut this movie like a Ghostface killer, you have to get into it because it is a woof. But like it lacks any of the fun of a movie like Scream or The
Hmm.
Faculty or even and I Know What You Did Last Summer. A lot of the things that make Kevin Williamson's scripts come to life are the teens and almost the like coming of age side of it and the way these characters communicate and their
Yeah.
friendships and their almost like rivalries at times and there's some of their
There's like a, yeah, you
animosities.
care about them. Where else in this film, I would say outside of Lucas, because they repeat his name the most, and then Tatum, I don't know any of these kids' names. And I don't
No.
care. I don't care
And
about
I
any of them.
And it's something that all the other Scream movies did really well. In particular, one and four is establish who everyone is really fast and get their relationship nuances really fast. And you connected with them quickly. And some of it is expository, and some of it is done in like, oh, all the five kids are hanging out like it's an episode of Friends at this fountain,
Like a little
just kind
fountain.
of
We're spitting
right.
off. We're
And we're
getting
just,
this information dump real fast. This is who they are to each other. That's
but
the jock. That's the pretty girl. She's a little envious, but she's still best friends with this. You get all of that really relatively quickly.
and it works because they're teens, and you
Right.
could see it working in a situation where like someone's dead and they're like, well, what do you care? You
Right.
got dumped by her anyways. Oh, I bet you're a suspect because you
hmm Because
always had a thing
teens
for her
talk
and
in that manner, right? And you're
in
like,
this
all right, this makes
gossipy
sense.
way.
Right.
And when you sort of then I don't know, try to age them up but not have that, like it's very strange. And it's why the movie, well, we'll just get into this like scene for scene. So it starts like every other Scream movie kind of does with its big murder,
Cold
jump to the
open horror.
credits.
Yeah.
You've seen the entire thing in the trailer, and it is
Which
the
is
best part of the movie.
terrible that they gave that away because it easily is the best thing that the film has going for it.
It also is very strange, and maybe all the other Scream movies aren't like this, and I'm just imposing the first one. But the first movie has a reason for that person to be killed, and it drives the rest of the story.
And
In
connection. No, they all sort of do, even if it's just like, hey, this person's named the same as the person that existed. Because I think that was part of what was on for Scream 3, like, hey, this person has the same name as the person that was in the original staff. So like, there's always sort of a connection where in this one, other than like, I'm just
and
gonna burn
it's
this house that they built up to be Woodsboro, and it's not even the real
this
house.
what is now becoming a trope of mine that I think I keep saying on this podcast. Where is this house?
Yeah. Well,
Why
like,
this is now a stranger's Wolfman situation where I'm like, okay, cool. Here's something in the middle of the woods
because
that
that's what was
feels,
confusing to me.
what
Because
is
originally
happening?
I was like, oh, that's the true house. And I was like, well, where are the neighbors? And then I'm like, then they brought up, it's like, no, this is a recreation of the house. I was like, well, this, now I need to know where this is because this doesn't make any sense.
Is it a pop-up? Is it a
Right.
company? Why
Right.
why did they build it in the middle of seemingly like Boise,
Nowhere.
Idaho or a
And I get that
cornfield
like
in Illinois?
the waning or the height of it has sort of died down, but there should still be someone securing this land since it seems to be
Yeah, there's no
an
employees.
attraction. Right.
And okay, I'll concede this because there is a golf simulator in the suburbs here that I recently learned has no employees. You sign up
Okay.
during the day online, you go, you type in a code like they do at the door. Call that out because when I learned this about that golf sim, it's the first time I ever heard of anything like that
Right.
at all. So at the very least, I don't know why we don't have the girl be like, shouldn't there be an employee? And him be like, it's the new
It's what we're
something.
doing today. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, we go through the house, very by the numbers, very what's your favorite scary movie?
Mhm.
And then we don't do anything with it. It's a very
No.
odd thing to have this like, and in it's doubly annoying because in the trailer we see him walking away from a burning house and he does that like I'm gonna burn it all
Burn it all
down,
down.
Sydney.
Yeah.
No line
That
has
line's not in
nothing
there.
to do with the
No.
movie, has nothing thematically to do with the movie. We are just saying that in the trailer
Yeah.
because somebody knew. You could now tell me that the editor of that trailer knew how little sense that scene made and was like, let me just do a quick ghost face voice and throw this line in there because that's going to make this make
They were just like,
more sense.
we gotta get out of Woodsboro. So cool. And like, here's what's crazy. I was like,
You could
you
just start
could
outside of Woodsboro.
exactly. It's like this isn't the house, so you could literally build this anywhere, and it doesn't have to be in Woodsboro.
Oh, no, it is. It's such a weird. I guess the only thing it connects to is like they call the
Well,
cops. We
yeah,
got a call from the Woodsboro police later.
and they're trying to posit the idea. This is the whole premise of this movie. Spoilers is that Stu is the mastermind behind this. So they think that hey, if Stu wants to get rid of all the legacy and the history of this, this sort of leads more into like you'll buy more that Stu is behind this if he goes back to burn down the fictional house that was built for the scenario.
Man, ugh. That is a theory that I have hated the entire time that
Stu
people
being
have
alive.
had.
Well,
And I know that it was like originally a Scream 3
hmm
twist once
yeah,
upon a time. I was annoyed in 6 when they were like, there's the TV if you believe that he's dead.
right.
Um, I will say this for major spoilers in the movie, for all of that build up to that actually be like, no, that's stupid. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I think what's I'll bring this up now before I get on the direction stuff of it. But like the positive of this, what you were bringing people in is like you hear the Stu voiceover in the trailer, you hear this like, oh, the idea is that Stu is alive, and so there's a lot of fandom that has been built over the history of these movies. Is like, hey, Stu is here, Stu is here, we got Stu, and then you show him in the movie, and then you just have a throwaway line like, you really thought Stu was alive? You're an effing idiot, and you're like, wait, you just called your entire audience dumb as hell for thinking, why are we here? Why are we here?
Yeah, because even I was like, look, I don't like the theory, and I think I would have been annoyed because it really, I mean, he's the TV falls on his face, he's dead.
Yeah, like he's
There's
dead.
no, uh, but to just kind of have it,
Like we're
especially in
wink,
this,
wink, wink.
in this movie with such a terrible ghost face and terrible twist and terrible motivation, to just kind of be like, oh, you wanted that, you big dumb
You
idiot.
dumbass. Yeah. So not only do you give me terrible reveals as who the killers are, you then say, on top of this, you're a dumbass for thinking it was
You're
going to be what you thought it
all
was.
idiots. Um, Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we do that dumb intro, and then we get to Sydney's daughter, her oldest daughter. We don't
Her
meet
oldest
the.
daughter.
Have we
The
ever
other two
remind?
daughters or other two
We've
kids are
never met any of them, right? It's not like
no,
we have
we saw
established characters,
one of the age. I'm not sure how much time exists between five and this, but we saw one of them in a stroller when she was on a walk in five, like when
right?
she got the phone call.
And
Outside
four
of
is
that,
like
we've
her
never
cousin who wants to be famous.
correct. So like
Okay.
we've never seen the other ones. We just know that there are other kids because age up wise,
Don't worry, they're
Tatum
in
wouldn't have been
Denver.
Denver, and we have police on them, so they're fine. We don't have to worry about this. This movie feels so small compared to how five and six were. This feels like I was watching this whole movie, and a lot of this is going to be on the Kevin Williamson directing piece. This feels like this movie was shot on a soundstage, and it looks like it. It's like cool. We don't have sets, we don't have the budget, which is insane because you do. 'Cause these last few movies have made so much money, but it feels so small and so cheap. And I'm like, why is this filmed this way? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's not Wes or the Radio Silence duos. It's Kevin Williamson who directed Teaching Mrs. Tingle, which no one should
Yeah.
watch.
And he, I mean, like, God, talk about bland filming. Like
Yeah.
every scene with two people is just like over the shoulder, get out of there. Like some of there's like dolly shots with three people and they're like poorly lined up. Like it just looking at the movie feels bad. Like
Yeah.
it's such a poorly constructed movie, and it stands out because I've said before where I'm like, so many people now know how to do this, and so many professional people especially know how to do this, and there's so much money and so many tools that for your movie to be like out of focus or poorly shot or have bad design is sad. And I think
Yeah.
that's why with this I was like, oh, this is like the fifth, I think it is, Harry Potter movie that feels like a TV episode. And it's like, oh, the guy directed TV before
Yeah.
this.
Correct.
Um,
And it's it's
he,
it's it's crazy because you'll see moments where Kevin was like, "I'm gonna do my Carpenter thing," and like have like visions in the background, but it's shot so bad that I'm like, you're not even trying. You're trying to make a copy image of something that already exists. And when I because I made the mistake of watching five and six before going into this, and when you see Radio Silence shoot things, and the way they shoot like that ladder sequence in six just to get across, I'm like, this is shot intensely, whereas I don't get one single moment of intensity, which is crazy to think that I went through an entire Scream movie and not one moment felt on the edge of my seat. Part of that is because of the way it's shot. The other part of it is I don't give a rat's ass about any of these people.
no, and that's like we then speed run through Tatum. She gets her boyfriend pulls the, Clarissa explains it all, Scream one, oh, I haven't come through your window yet.
Yeah,
Which is sort of another like, yeah, we know. Like we got it. Like
I get this, and I get it,
it's
and I get
fun.
that
It's
Sydney's going to
fun.
be upset about this.
Yeah. And you know what? I think from the jump that bothered me because like we've done this trope now of the final girl being prepared I'm ready for it. Ba 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 ba.
Halloween
And like,
sort of
yep,
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Halloween, the new Texas Chainsaw did it. Final Destination did it.
I
Um,
yeah, I yeah,
and what
Final Destination
really
do it. Yeah.
and what bothered me though is that so much of Sydney's story post two was like, I wrote my book. I'm fine. I'm tired of these assholes. I'm over it.
Right.
And I sort of was hoping that she was just going to be like, hey, I get it, kid, but like next time just use it. Like I was sort of hoping she was just going to be like on Tatum's side.
Well, there's so many things that they have to sort of unwrite, like because Gail brings it up later, like you wrote a book. I thought you were good. So did the audience. But then we're back here and you're locking doors like 5 times when you set an alarm.
She it's also very odd to have your entire life be like movies and books and your daughter know nothing and you
Yeah,
be so unwilling to
to tell
talk
her.
to her.
And like the fact
Like
that
it
all of it is accessible to her, you should just have a conversation. It also is what messes up a lot of things for me in the third act. I think that we go along, all the kids die. Every one of Tatum's friends are dead. Like
everyone
they die,
dies.
everyone dies.
Probably
There's
the only
no
scene of the movie that I really liked because I was like,
was
well,
the bar
we have
sequence.
never really done a
Just
big
wiped
like
out. Like he just
I think I
wiped
it seems to bother everyone, but I think I like it. I like a Last Jedi multiverse of
just
madness,
going
kill
in
them
and just
all in
like
one
kill
scene.
all these
I kind
muggers.
of dig it. Like I kind of like it.
But then we get to the sequence where we've seen it in the trailer where Tatum has to shoot through the wall. It's one shot poorly because of the way you have Sydney in the middle of an open street and it's shot as if she's like on a soundstage. It's so bad. But then there's no tension put in on the other side. But what really bothers me about this is that when Tatum shoots the ghost face, she then starts moving the stuff on the door. And Sydney on the phone never mentions to her like, "Hey, he's wearing a vest." You just let your daughter go back
Right.
in there because you know very well that that person's not harmed enough. You're like, oh, shoot him in the head. No, I don't think that's the play. That person's not down.
Yeah, get out of there.
Right.
It it also really bothered me that Sidney Prescott's kids didn't know how to use guns.
Yeah.
That really bothered me. When she's like, I have no idea what to do. And I'm like,
And I'm just like, how is
at
that
no point,
possible?
like
Like
you
you're
would think,
twofold. Sydney Prescott's your mom and your dad's a cop.
I didn't even think about that part of it. Yeah. What the hell? Like this is and like you have to assume that for however old Tatum is, at some point in her life, she would have met Dewey and Gail, and that they would have been the like
One of
fun
them would have
aunt
been like,
uncle who would have been like,
let's
you
go
know
get this
what,
gun.
your
You know
mom
what?
isn't like
She's
someone.
crazy. F
One
that.
day, someone's gonna come for you, and if your mom
Right.
doesn't want to do this, I will.
Right.
Like, which almost would have been a more fun dynamic to have Gail show up and have her have done this and almost have her daughter like Gail more of like, well, she tells me what's going
Yeah.
on. She's
Yeah.
shown me how to get ready. Like you just want to hide and run. Because even when she was like, it's time to pack up and run away, I was like, no, this isn't the
No,
Sydney that
this
I
isn't what Sid would
know. I
do.
don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't
Yeah. And
even if
even when
it
Gail comes,
wasn't,
she sort of calls her out on it. It's like, why are we running? Like, this isn't who you are.
we've done this so many times now that it almost should just be. Which, to be fair, this is what I mean when I say a copy of a copy. We've done it before where Dewey
Right.
just straight up in the first act is like, boyfriend, bad guy,
Yeah.
get this. That I know how this
Sid moves,
goes.
you move. Yeah. Or even in five, when they go into the house, they're like, you ready to do this? Nope. All right. Well, we're going to do it anyway. Let's go kill some. She normally is running into the fire now, like post the trauma. And now we're just going to go back to being like, nope. She is just the person who is frightened of life. We didn't bring it up because they're kind of an afterthought. Why are the sisters and brother and sister here from
It,
four and five? I mean,
that
five
was
and
a
six.
weird. I think the only reason they're there is to. It's two things, right? It is to connect to the 4 and 5 because we are
5 and 6. Yeah, yeah.
all that awful dumb stuff that I don't
Stuff.
agree with of getting rid
Right.
of other
Your lead.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and um and to have your rules seen. It's the
Correct,
only
because they're the only
person
ones. Lucas,
connected.
we don't
Yeah.
care enough about to be able to tell us the rules. So yeah, you need to have somebody to sort of be the rule teller.
It's
But
the only
like the reason to
connection.
put them there doesn't. nothing in 5 and 6 showed me that she had a proclivity to wanting to do media or news. And so all of this sort of just comes out of nowhere. You're like, wait, what? Huh? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was a very weird thing to just sort of be like they've been because we also don't see Gail at the end of five. We like or at the end of six. We hear that she's alive, but
Yeah.
we don't see her. Yes, it's a very odd. It almost feels like they just want you to be like, "Yay,
They're
past
back.
characters."
Yeah.
But yeah, the only and I mean I've said it since Scream 2, where I'm like the biggest mistake is killing the movie nerd who could tell you how all this
How
works.
this works. Yeah.
We
And
get
in
away with
that,
it in
I think
four
you
because
can take the
everyone is.
right. And I think you can take the brother off, but now they sort of made the brother the new Dewey, where we're just going to pincushion this dude to death, and he's never going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, it was also weird because we do everyone's so underdeveloped that to have them back and then kind of just toss them into this weird like B story
With the
of
sea
like
salad of the kids that just get
we're all
mopped
gonna go to
out.
the bar and figure
Right.
this out,
We all just
which
get wiped
that
out and take them off to the side.
and that felt to me like the most like, oh yeah, it's a Scream movie. We have to be doing something. Because like the rest of this story, like we go to this play that she's in. We have one of the cool deaths where we kill a person whose name we don't know swinging around. That was
Just
fun.
call McKenna Grace because that's why I know her. That's
Yep.
what I know her as.
We see Stu on the phone, probably one of the other moments of the movie that I liked where I'm not hiding this time, and you just see him outside the school. And then we sort of have our suspects. We meet the weird kid who's obsessed with Sydney and his weird mom
Who immediately like, oh, look, I'm maybe it's because Scream 2 called it out so much with Billy's mom, but as soon as she walked in, I was like, that's one of them.
from
She's a
the
killer.
jump.
She's a killer.
From the
Yeah.
jump. And you have this, God, this terrible coffee shop scene where we're handing coffees to someone named Carl who looks weird.
Yeah.
We do, yeah. And then meet the dad. We go through our first ghost face attack with Gail shows up. We run him
And I
over. It's
like
some
the
rant.
wall piece, but again, a piece that they showed in the trailer, so it kind of took some of the sting out of
That was
the scene.
fun. It was fun watching him go through that. The only time
Yeah.
where she seemed prepared and to have this
Correct.
like
And to fight
escape
back.
route.
Yeah. But then it ends with it's fun, but it ends with Gail just like running, mowing him over. And that actually is
And
probably when the movie starts going downhill for me from that point on as
I was
well.
gonna say because I liked all of that. I liked
Yeah.
it being a random guy. I kind
Hmm.
of dug it. Where a part of me was like, "Oh, are we just
Oh,
gonna?"
yeah.
Because I really liked six opens with Samara Weaving.
And then we see them go to the house. I correct because it's
I've
taking the sort of your what we're sort of ingrained to understand how these open. It twists on its head. I'm like, oh, it's another
and
killer.
I've always wanted the Scream movies now that they're like global and like Stab is such a big thing to almost have a like every city has a ghost face. I've always kind of wanted them to do oh everyone does this now. Like once
Yeah.
a year there's some guy in a mask. And I kind of always wanted it to take the Saw route of eventually having which would work for Stu for someone to come back and be like you're
Hmm.
all doing it wrong. I
Right.
need to remind you guys how to do this. I think that would be the reversal of what these movies should start to satirize. Is like, no, no, no. You guys are all messing up. All these other
Hmm.
horror movies are trying to be like really smart or really dark or really bloody. You forgot it's fun and it's
Right.
this. No, no, no. We're going to show you, we're going to remind everybody. But that's not what we do. We have a random
Yeah.
guy that only exists to keep pretending that Stu's there.
Correct.
I was happy that Gail and Sydney hugged because at first when she showed up, I was like, oh God, we're gonna have a
Like I
like a
hate
Han
you punch.
Solo
Yeah.
fake out. You've got a
Yeah.
lot of guts coming here after what you pulled.
Yeah.
I was like, are we gonna do this for the fifth time in this franchise where they were mad at each other?
But now they're okay though because they go through shit. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I'm glad that they got through that pretty quickly. And I like the fact that like she got her first interview and they had that moment and Gail kind of leaned into it. That part was still good. And then that whole chase sequence with
But another
Tatum through the
underdeveloped
streets.
weird, who's this weird local guy that's like,
Oh,
help the local people
Robbie.
out. This is my story.
Yeah. Yeah. Robbie's useless.
Zero agency. Why is he
No
here?
agency. And like we didn't mention it, but they do go. We have to mention it because it ends up being quote unquote important. But like they go to the psychiatric place that Stu was apparently from, and they meet the orderly Marco. Now he's played by a famous 90s, 2000s actor, so I kind of knew that like, all right, this could come back, but they basically put him on the screen. We never hear or see him again. Never.
We
It's
don't
just like,
see
nope.
either of the ghost faces again after their
Correct.
first scene, Terrence. We see no
Mhm.
one.
And
This
so
movie
it's
has a fake ghost face. We
right.
go to a hospital. I don't even, what's the runtime on this? Because it feels like it's 45 minutes when I run through the story.
When I run through
I,
what they're doing, it does feel really small, but it's almost 2 hours. And I'm like, there's
that's
no story here. Right.
preposterous.
How is that
That is
possible?
like we,
But I remember like when the audience made zero reaction when Marco takes his mask off, because it's more in your brain like, who the fuck? Why do I
I
know
went,
this guy?
who? I think I
Right. It's
audibly
like
was like, what?
like who the fuck is this dude?
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, is that really it? We go to the hospital, we do the interview,
Yeah.
and
And
then
then
all the
they
kids go to the
the interview
bar?
is at the bar at the same time. Like those are parallel scenes. So
We
they're
have to be
happening at once.
forgetting something.
And then it's the whole chase of Tatum through the
Through the
streets of
empty
empty
city.
where no one is because we're all on curfew and
It's
no one is out
curfew.
there. Yeah.
Oh, yes, because if there's one thing we learned in 2020, it's that everyone takes their curfews very
At the yeah,
seriously.
teens especially, they never go against curfew.
God, you're right. It feels it is. We're back to it is another stranger's Wolfman problem where I'm like, where are
Where
we?
is anyone?
And why does this yeah, and why is this city 7 people?
We shot
This,
this on a back lot and we could only afford 15 people. We just happened to
oh
kill 8 of them,
man.
so this is all we
So
got
then
left.
yeah, let's talk about the bar scene because I both love
Yeah.
and hate the bar scene so much. And I'm going to start with Lucas because I loved even though we've done this, and this is my biggest problem with this movie, we have now done the Scream 4 has done what all three of these movies try to do better than all three of the ones that have followed it. It has done the fandom, the cameras, the fans, the recreation, the I want the fame, all of it's better. I dug Scream 5's we want to do it for the fans. We
Mhm.
deserve better. Another good moment to do a Ghostface Incorporated situation that I want. 6 was like just straight revenge. We really
Yeah.
didn't try to be very meta in that one, which fine.
Yeah. Not, but I like that
And
they called that out at the beginning because even the Ghostface at the very opening is like, F the movie. I don't care about the movie. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, cool.
I was like,
we're just
great.
killing
We're
them.
just, but again, that's where I'm like, great, Ghostface Incorporated. That would have been a
Yeah.
good lead in for this one to have someone be like, you said fuck the movie last time.
Right.
This is the movie. Like, this doesn't work. Like, I really want them to take the jigsaw, like, no, 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 you fucked the game up.
Yeah.
We were doing something. Um, yeah. And I like Lucas a lot. I like the guy who's like obsessed with the idea of
Idea of
her,
Sydney. Yeah.
the concept. Um, and I liked his moment in the bar where he's like, I'm not fucking creepy. I'm not weird. Like I just like this
Yeah.
stuff. Like get away. And I
Like,
was
I'm
like,
just into this stuff. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. We're picking on the boyfriend again, which is fine.
Yeah.
We're trying to analyze the deep fakes, fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is
we're
weird to me.
then
Like that.
we then have this one random girl that we've accused who's only there to like serve them drinks at the bar, but she has the performance as if she's been like a main character the whole time, where she's like, being creepy is kind of hot. And I was like, who
Yeah.
is this person?
Yeah. Like
Why
it gave her two
and
points of agency because then the sister's like, you got cute hair. And it's like, all right, they're having a black girl moment. I get it. Why is she here?
I think she's also accused quickly in the school when she's like, I was in the dressing room and they're like, no, you weren't. And she's like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah, like
And I was
I
like,
was in the dressing room.
why are we trying to frame this up? Also, another moment where I'm like, none of these kids feel like they're friends in this bar. Is this supposed to be all the kids who are like in this play? Am I to assume that this play is
Is
like
this what
this
brought them
found
together?
family? Because no one seems to care about any of the other people.
It's so weird. I feel like Lucas is an alpha. I feel like the girls get along with each other, and because Tatum is dating Ben, he's
Yeah,
sort of just around the
that's
girls, and
why
then
Ben's
Lucas just sort of
there
happens. Yeah, and like
and
Lucas just
he's
sort of just
there.
walks
Yeah.
in. But
It's as
yeah,
if they're the only 7 kids in the city.
correct. And do we see anybody else now that you mention it? Like the school is
I
never active.
I think there no, it's not. I think there were a few other people in the stands when they kill the first two students, and they're kind of
Okay.
doing the like everyone's a suspect. I think there were like three other people in the
Like walking
background,
around.
but no one. No, there
But
is.
it's
We never
always
go to
either like an
class.
after school program
It's
for theater.
it's
Yeah.
it's never the daytime, which is another
Yeah.
like
So
it's a
what's
weird thing to bring up, but like Scream movies really activate during the day because that's kind of when you get to have all these moments where people get to be friends and then you go to a party or you go
right?
somewhere and
And
then
the
you
setup,
have the
the chaos
attack.
happens.
Yeah.
Right.
This movie doesn't do that, but then also in this bar scene is my favorite when she gets up and she's like, "Let's run through the rules." And he's like, "We said we were going to do that." She's like, "This time it's all about nostalgia." And I was like, "This franchise has been about nostalgia for
For
four movies
for
in a row." Frankly, the movie's been about nostalgia since one,
yeah.
except it's used to be making fun of the thing that's dead now,
Yeah.
which is another kind of moment where I'm like, you guys need to start making fun. These movies almost need to be scary movie now. You need to start making fun of the
I
Scream
think
movies.
I think that didn't do it any service either. That the Scary Movie 6 trailer played in front of this, and I was like, oh, that
It
looks
looks
good.
hilarious.
Yeah, that
All
looks
in.
good.
um, yeah. So we speed run through what is probably the most fun part of the Scream movies.
Yeah.
And not only do we run through it, but we sort of once again are like, stop doing it. And I'm like, why is the franchise now? We've now had two movies in a row where it's like, I don't care about the movie. Don't do these rules. Why are we now trying so hard to not be Scream movies, to throw out
Right.
the thing that makes it
The
fun?
meta is what makes it fun. Like
Yeah, the
you need to call out some of the BS that exists. Like that makes
being
sense.
And you can do it now. Like there's so many more people who are like into fandom and into knowing about movies and knowing franchises and like everyone kind of knows the rules of a movie now. It's not like you're alienating anyone.
No.
And it's strange because like I know we've done it. People have said it with other franchises where it's like they threw out the thing or they killed it or they ruined it. And I was like, I can't think of another movie though. Like at no point in like Star Trek where they ever like the prime directive is stupid now. We're just gonna
It's gonna
go.
go.
Like at no point in Saw were they ever like, oh no, the tapes that he
There is
leaves,
still always a
ridiculous.
reverence, right? There is still all of a reverence for what got you there. Whereas I feel
Yeah,
like Scream, the further away it's gotten from the
really
initial four,
four.
yeah, from the initial four, it's kind of pulled away. Five, sort of the character's purpose for it is to do a film, so because he's a
Yeah,
movie kid,
five still I think fits. I think
yeah,
five is still very much in that mold. I think five is just the one where you miss the old characters the most. I think
yeah, because they're essentially
they're
after,
old and we're trying to
yeah,
pass it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
so
then we just it's awesome. Then we do have this. It's another weird moment for Sydney though, where like she's with Gail. There are many cars to take, and she gets another like deep fake call from Stu and just jogs. And
why
then
did I immediately thought of Tron when this happened. I was like, how close is she? And like, why is she just going to take off running?
it felt so much like the first Scream and the that scary movie parodies where he's like, "I'm sorry that my your perfect life is an inconvenience." He like runs away, and I was part of me was like, you know what would have been really great if she had called back that line and
Yeah.
ran away from Gail, because like I get that they're mad, I get that they have like a tense moment in the interview, but also Gail's kind of right, and I sort of like that twice in this movie someone calls out Sydney because the other moment I did enjoy is when she Tatum comes down in her jacket and she's like, "You're wearing that jacket," and Tatum gets mad and she looks at Joel McHale and she's like, "When do teenagers become nice again?"
And so I was like, this is on
And
you.
he's just straight up like, "That
This is
was
on you.
mean."
That's on you.
And I was
You
like,
are
you
a
know what?
dick.
This might be what the movie needs more of. It might need to have more of Sydney being like, no, and people being like, girl, stop.
You
Everyone here
relax.
is trying to. because then she also after that interview is like, "What if I asked you about Dewey?" And Gail is like, "I would have told you that I
I would
get up
just
every day and
told you then
smile
and then I take
because
these drugs.
that's what I do."
Right.
Because
Right.
I do, because, and a part of me is like, this is the moment where Gail should be like, this is the difference between us, Sydney. You're here hiding, and I'm still out there doing it
Yeah.
despite us both going through this. And like that should have been the moment where they're like, okay, we're in this together now,
Yeah.
go. Instead of her being like, time for me
Like,
to, again,
deuces.
how small is this city that she can briskly that it makes more sense while her daughter's life is in peril for her to sprint to wherever this bar is than wait for the
The
newsman,
Robbie to come
her
out, the
friend,
cameraman that's in there. Hey,
call
can
the
one of you just go
police.
back in there? Hey, can one of you give me a ride? Can one of you give me
Yeah.
a ride? Because like my
Oh,
daughter's being
that's what
murdered.
we missed. We skipped over Joel McHale getting
Hmm.
stabbed in this
I skipped it because
this
it doesn't mean anything because then he's
this
alive
neighbor's
still.
house. Well, it's another thing I want to pick on. We keep going into this like neighbor's house that's under construction, but I
I
don't think
wasn't
we ever
clear with that. Is that their house that's under
I
construction or the neighbor house
I
that's
don't
under
know. We don't
construction?
do any establishing shots.
Yeah, because like they just keep going out their backyard, but I can't tell. I don't get an overview to see what land it's on. It's just like they just,
Because yeah,
yeah.
we never see it's never like, oh, the house is under construction because we're adding more
And
safe rooms.
if it is under construction, that would immediately flag to me that your house isn't secure because you're automatically going to have an open space at all times because that
No,
can't be
they just really wanted to have this like ghost face and
with the
plastic
plastic wrap.
wrap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's yeah. No, you're right. We skipped over that because it is ultimately meaningless. It's also weird because she calls him instead of the police. And I was like, I understand that that's your husband and he's a cop, but like he didn't pick up, call the
Call the
police.
police.
Because then you can also be like, hey, police, who
Hey,
probably know
also,
me. Like,
also, my husband is not answering, so there might be an issue there too.
yeah, why is there? Because there's also always like a fun moment in the Scream movies of like, hey, here are the cops who are outside watching this house. Oh, they got
Oh,
iced.
yeah, they're already
Like
dead.
they,
They're gone.
it gives you another character that you can just have a good death for. Like there aren't any, and there are so many. But then we're back at the bar seat, and I did sort of dig that we get the call. Tatum and boyfriend go outside. Tatum and Ben go outside, and then just Ghostface goes crazy. That
Goes
was
nuts,
awesome.
loses. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Puts the puts Lucas on that bar tap.
on the
That
bar
was the
tab.
best death. And the beer
It's the
coming out of his
best.
mouth. That
So
was
it's the best
so.
death, but it's also my biggest question
It
mark
becomes my
because
biggest problem
because then
later.
it's like I don't understand why the mom would
It
allow that to happen, no matter how you feel about your
oh,
son.
we're so close to where we have to just rip. Oh, I hate it. I hate everything. It's just oh man.
So
So
I have two problems with the end. Like we'll get the reveal, but my brain, when it first happened, I was like, wait, what? This these killers mow down everybody at the bar. When they get a hold of Tatum, they then like, we're gonna stop killing for a second. Let's capture her and take her back. Wait,
actually, we
what?
have. I know it
You've been
seems like we don't.
murdering everyone.
I know it appears that we don't have a plan, but actually, we have an
We
elaborate
have a
plan.
very elaborate plan. We've home alone your house with with cameras to track you
Yeah.
wherever you go. Huh?
While actually, I didn't even think about that. Okay, so while they're gone, in theory, I guess in theory, one ghost face is at the house and one is
Jessica's
at the bar.
probably at the house because I would have to. I can't imagine that
But then
Jessica
we
is the
see
one that killed her
two
kid at Tatum's place. I mean,
at
at the
Tatum at
coffee
the
shop. At the
coffee
coffee
shop.
shop, right?
Oh,
So
I
I'm like,
hate this
did she
movie.
go set up? And then how close is the house? Did they like
I
frame her to
hate
run
it.
back? It doesn't make sense.
I hate it so much. Is everything
Yeah,
and everyone again, we can all do this in a brisk jog.
that's why I say this feels like
Everyone
it's on a lot. Everything
this,
feels so small.
this city is set up like a Simpsons joke where like Homer parks his car
And
and
it
it
just goes
turns out that
out.
he's in the backyard of it
Yeah.
like he's so far away from work and that
Mhm.
Moe's is like around the corner like it's all framed up for like zoom out like haha isn't that silly even though it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense except that's a Simpsons comedy cartoon where it's
Yeah.
allowed to do that.
Yeah.
This is like, oh man, did you know that Sydney lives next to the coffee shop? That's next to the hospital. That's next to the school. That's next to the, like, it's
That's a brisk walk to the
preposterous.
psychiatric hospital.
Because then they also, when she's running right before Ben dies, it appears that she's running for miles.
It does feel like she's going for, yeah, for going for a
Because then,
while.
yeah, then we get the classic Scream. It is the boyfriend. He's making the deep fake. Oh my God, the big reveal. She knocks him out and goes. Immediately runs into the other ghost face. And then that ghost face lets her
That's when
run away and goes into
that's
the
when they
bar
bar. That's when
and
they
goes
go
on
and
a
have the
spree. Okay.
the spree. Then
So
she keeps
that's how
going.
she gets away so that
Right.
that ghost face
Is
would
murdered
rather
away.
kill everybody
Right. Wipe everybody out.
instead of just
Getting the one that they
kidnapping.
want because
Okay.
that's they want to kidnap her. That's the whole plan anyway.
I guess then
Uh,
you'd have like five Scooby Doo type kids who could stop her.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I do like the slaughter in the coffee shop. It is fun. It's meaningless and it's
yeah.
dumb.
And I like the gun thing. I get it, but there's so many questions because you're like, how's your daughter not set up enough to understand this? And then you don't give her the heads up that
It
this person
really
has a
makes
bulletproof
Sydney's
vest.
the biggest problem, well, maybe the second biggest problem with the movie is that it makes Sydney seem like she has done
Nothing
nothing to help
to
her
help her
family.
kid. Yeah,
Two of her kids are in Denver
yeah.
with police. So like why aren't they coming back? Like it because there were a few moments where I was like, oh, there's no one left to like save the day. And then I was like, oh, except for Gail, who's at the news station with Robbie.
Hmm.
And you could very easily have, I mean, you could fake us all out and have Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega show up.
Just come
And I
up.
was
Yeah,
like, or presumably these other two kids
the
could
other core
show
four.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like her
Oh, you mean
children could be
that?
like,
Well, it
fuck,
feels like
yeah. We don't
I
know how
get
old
the
they are.
feeling that the kids that Sydney has are like 5 or younger. Like I think
Why
Tatum
even
was like the
establish
early.
that? Did we
Yeah.
write that in other
I think
movies that she has
only
three
because
kids?
I I don't know if it was established he had three. It was sort of established that there was one kid at least that was young in five, like that was stroller young. So at least this kid
Okay.
was saying 4 to 5 years of
So
how
we
they
need to
decided
have somebody older to be
to make this
Tatum.
all correct. Correct. So at
Oh my
least two are on
God.
the board in that. And you
Okay.
can add a third for shits and giggles.
Also, but yeah, nothing about Sydney's agency and explaining that makes any sense when you really are like, okay, she's also had a cousin who went crazy.
Hmm.
You've
A
named your
brother,
daughter after your best friend, a
a brother who went
brother.
nuts.
Like,
Yeah.
how are you so like, oh, I guess we're done.
Yeah.
If they're
You
five,
shouldn't
I can
trust
live here.
anyone, and you should have your family set up to not trust anyone either.
I I'm okay with her trusting people. I think it
Or
should be that
having at least have
it's
you set up to
meticulous.
be yeah.
Yeah.
And like
I'm okay with
again,
her. I think it's
I
more
still come down to
interesting.
now with like you have a cop husband. One of the two of you should have taught this
A
girl
hundred, or she would
how
just
to
go
survive.
figure it out. Like,
Right.
you know, like it's welcome to America.
Yeah.
Like,
So then we
also,
get to
nobody,
the
I've never met anyone, even if they've never shot a gun, who's picked up a pistol and been like, what does it do? Like,
yeah.
like
Like
it was very,
they made Tatum an idiot. Like she not only was
she could
she
have picked it up with tongs and been like,
like, what is
what is
this? How does this
this?
work? Yeah. So then we get to the end. They basically capture Tatum to then put her on the hook as the opening sequence of the first movie where she's on a chair outside of the home. It all comes full
And
circle.
if I remember right, Gail is still missing. She is
Is
presumably
Gail still
still,
at the news station? I'm guessing she just say, I don't know where she's at. I'm not gonna
maybe
get
she
in
went
her
back to the bar to get her people.
house.
Like we
Yeah,
can, yeah, but she's
yeah. But
off the
she's not
table.
in this.
Like,
Yeah. And so it's just Sydney go back to the house because she gets a message that says, "Hey, come back to the home."
she
Oh,
does
no,
say, "Come
it's where your
alone."
heart is. It's where your heart
Oh
is. So
yeah,
she goes by
what a
herself.
stupid line.
Just say, come to the house. Um,
Well, you know what it is? You can tell that they wanted to be like, "I'm where it all started, Sydney," but we
mhm.
can't do that
Because it's
anymore.
not the Woodsboro home.
I'm where the heart is before I rip it out. And I was like, okay, someone just
Okay,
wanted another
sure,
like violent, over the top
sure.
ghost face line.
So then
Fine.
we get to the house and we see a deep fake of all the greatest hits of Sydney's life.
You know
Here's what
what?
upset me about that.
Disagree. Could have had more. Where's Billy?
Well, here's what's weird. I was fine with it with doing the stew. I think because they didn't do Billy because we've seen Billy in five
We've
and six,
he's
and they
a
didn't
he.
want to
Yeah.
bring him back. But like I get the stew, I get Billy's mom, I even get Roman. But if you're using the killers, then why would you bring Dewey? Doesn't fit in the cycle of all this other than like we felt like we wanted to give David Arquette another shot. Come
It
on back on set for
yeah,
that.
That yeah, I also thought that was weird because I was like, oh, it's going to be really fun. It'll be weird because like four is a little different, but like, show me the people from four.
Right.
Do
And
all of
like,
them.
I get it if they were planning for Gale to be there too. That hits a little bit harder for Gale to
That
see
would have been
things.
a fun moment for Gail, for her to
Right.
not be there, to have that's what they should have done. It should have,
Yeah.
she should have gone through all of the killers, even the one in six that she wasn't there for.
Right.
You could have done a like, you weren't here and people died.
Hmm.
And we could have then been like, oh, Gail's not here because she's getting an emotional punch
Two.
over
Right.
here.
Yeah. So then she goes outside, and I would argue that it's the worst reveal in all six of the Scream
Oh, it's
films.
certainly the dumbest.
Yeah. Yeah.
S- Six might be the worst because it's
Six is
so convoluted in how they
right.
do it,
It's so
but it
much, but it my brain, because of the way the one and two sort of feed off of each other and the energy of it, and because it's so revenge driven, I'm like, okay, I'll buy that.
it's fine.
I can
Yeah.
accept that.
The narrative of it makes sense.
Right.
This is the single
That shit.
stupidest thing.
Yeah.
We just talked about Strangers Chapter 3, and I didn't think I'd be like, what a dumb thing. I think that that ending might make more sense than this one.
Yes. Yeah. I have never rolled my eyes and been more angry at an ending than I have. Jessica, one, I called it. I saw her from a minute ago. I didn't call Marco because he just wasn't, he was, for me, irrelevant to
Who?
the movie. Right. But
Could have been Carl
Jess,
again.
but Jessica then goes full Anna Camp being crazy, which Anna Camp is very good at going crazy.
That's what
I don't.
sucks. She's
She's
so good at
doing
this.
really well
Yeah.
in this. It just there's no agency or purpose for her to get to this
We
point. And as an
haven't seen
audience,
her in
it
like,
then makes her performance comical because you're like, I how you got here from A to B doesn't make sense.
we
And you
haven't
killed
seen
your
you in
son.
40 minutes.
And you
Yeah.
killed
So it,
your son.
oh God. And it's funny because while they were in the bar, I was really starting to be like, okay, who could the killer be? And then a part of me was like, you know what would actually kind of be fun if it was the mom and the son. And I was like, and maybe they're trying to do like we're gonna start our
Like
podcast. Like
right.
it would be sort of like the other ones, but I was like, that would at least kind of be a little different to have it be like a
Hmm.
family working together with
Right.
both of them. But her motivation was wacky. It was also another one where she's like, well, I had to kill my husband, which I learned how to do by reading your book. And
Right.
I was like, well, what did he do?
Do
Like
because
we
at
know the
least in
marriage
the
was bad.
what did he? I do remember her saying, I think to earlier, he was abusive, but she is
Yeah,
now an unreliable narrator in
narrator.
that. So it's like I don't quite know if I
They
believe
also
that,
kind of just skim.
especially because it doesn't seem like Lucas has that effect or brings that up.
It's also strange because like we know, yeah. And it reminds me, like, okay, I'll use Send Help because that's a very good movie. And in Send Help, Rachel McAdams has that moment when they're drunk on the beach, spoilers for that movie, where she's like, oh, my husband died in a car accident. He would get drunk and violent and look for his keys. I always hid them. And then one night he was even more drunk and more violent. So I gave him his keys and then I poured him his last drink. And you're sort of left to be like, oh, did she get him drunk and send him off to die? Or was she scared? It was like, take the keys. And then he died. But at the very least, there's a plan. When she does her reveal of this movie, she's just like, then I killed him, Sydney. And you're like,
Right.
and then you buried the
And then
body. You got away
right,
with
like
murder.
like
How did you get away with
it's
murder
just a
in
throwaway
this
because she's like,
town
I got
of
away with it.
5 kids and 8
Right.
cops?
Yeah, I was like, none of this makes sense.
And then
And then she
her
throwaways the line of her like, I killed my son just because he was came from my
oh,
boy. You're mine. I was like,
he was like my dad, my husband. And I was like,
wait,
well,
what?
hang on. We didn't, I'll concede that we'll believe like
I
this,
can
the husband was
feel if your
insane.
husband was
I buy
abusive.
that.
Was Lucas also beating you?
We haven't seen the closest thing we see to him being aggressive is when he's like, I'm not weird. And then he stands up and he's like, I'm getting another beer. And he says it kind of in a like, whoa way. But he is also being accused of murder by
Right.
everyone else
By
in the
everybody in the
room.
room. Right.
So that's kind of a normal, like, if he had even fended off the Ghostface killer and not died in that room and like beat that person up, like
Yeah.
really gone for it, and then later died. And she was like, he was too much like his father. Did you see how he beat me up in the bar? I would have been like, got it.
Yeah.
Like that, you could have had that. Um, because not only does she kill him in that bar, he gets the most
He gets the worst. He gets the
brutal and like
worst death of
makes eye
everybody. I was
contact
like,
with him. And it
just make
is,
us somebody stab this dude. Like, stop this. Like, this is excessive.
I mean, don't get me
And
wrong, it was a good death, but it
that's why
is, it,
that's why I'm like, that has to be the Marco one. And then she says, no, I killed my son. And I'm like, oh no, that
yeah,
was her.
Marco's been here doing AI stuff because he has a
Right.
knack for
Knack for it.
AI.
Yeah.
Oh God. Also just like what a boring take on AI. Like we've done so many AI movies. And I usually go back to being like The Matrix and Terminator do it best, but frankly, Have Fun, Good Luck, Don't Die also does it so much better.
It
So
leads to
like,
nothing. It has no
yeah,
real
there's
point in
no
this. There's no
there's no
point in this.
statement on it. There's nothing
No.
meta about it. And for Scream to not do anything meta with it, and it would be hard, but it would have been interesting for them to kind of be like, hey, we're going to deep fake Ghostface
Like,
versus Michael Myers or we're just going to deep fake all the movies we always reference because all you guys want is AI bullshit.
or even go deeper into what they were sort of hinting at with six and deep fake that Sydney has snapped. She's finally lost her mind and she's the one who's
That
like
was my other thing when I
responsible for
left.
this.
I was like, how come we're not deep faking a like show show Sydney something, show the daughter something. Why aren't we faking why aren't we doing anything with this
Or
beyond
like, oh, it would be
FaceTime
great because I
calls?
don't know what movie I've seen, but some like to the point where like deep fake a death of somebody that's important to her, and you'd be like, oh my God, they're gone. Like, and then she just loses it.
And
Like that
because
would give her onus to go to some of these places.
you have a little bit of like Halloween Kills, which sucks, but it tried to do the like fake news, no one believes her anymore. Like, was she also? And I was like, why not do that? Why not make the town terrified? Have a video of her like slaughter. Why didn't we unmask when she burns down the Woodsboro house and show Sydney right away?
Right.
Why
Yeah.
wasn't the opening of the movie? She kills these people. She's now on this tear, burning down all of these, like anything resembling
Resembling.
Woodsboro,
Hmm.
anything resembling Stab, and then have it be like, no, she's not. And then you could have someone, even a Stu, showing up and being like, I hate AI. I'm going to show you guys what it really is.
Without
And then
using
like
it as a
attack
motivator.
her.
Right.
Yeah. Like, no, 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 that's not what this is.
Yeah.
Such a boring, and I still don't fully even understand. She now needs to kill Sydney in front of her daughter so that her
To
daughter's
make
traumatized,
her the
so
new
that
Sydney.
someone else can write a book to
Yeah.
inspire her to do
Wouldn't
what?
wouldn't she just be the new Sydney? Like if
Because
she's she's
she
she's
has
basically saying
her,
like I want to traumatize Tatum
you're
in the way
past
that
your
you
prime,
were traumatized. So I'm creating the new Sydney via her in the same way that you were
but
established. I'm just like,
to effectively make her the new Sydney, what you'd actually have to do is get Sydney to sleep with someone,
mhm.
kill her,
And then have Tatum
and then have Tatum
be
date the
harassed by the
son.
person that was, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's Sydney needs to ruin a
It's not a
family
one to
first.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a
Right.
one to one.
And I'm still sort of like, to what end? To what? Because
Right.
all of the other ones have a like
I'm going to make a movie.
four.
I'm going to
I
make a
want, yeah, I
movie.
want
I'm
the
going to get
fame.
famous. Yeah. Like there's a couple
Five is like
revenge at least for six.
we need to fix it.
Yeah.
Revenge. Two is revenge. This is just sort of like I read your
I
book.
just
It
did it
inspired me to
and
kill you.
it made me nuts.
Then I met you, and you were
Kind
past
of
your
dug you, but you're
prime.
past the prime. You're not as good as you used to be. So I think I'm going to
And
fix
I'm
you.
still like, to what end? And why are her and Carl like buddy buddy? Because she clearly is
Yeah.
like, we're led to then assume that she's the John Doe that we were led to believe was Stu at first in the
Cool. Yeah.
hospital. She would be
Yeah.
the Jane Doe of that
Yeah.
situation. And then I'm like, and then what does Carl want? Is he just like, are they sleeping together? Is
Was
that
she sleeping
the,
with him too? Like, yeah. Yeah.
and
Did
then
he help
why
get rid of
have
the
a third
body?
random one that's just there to die? Like
Because
it,
Ethan Embry needed something to do, Blake. Like he needed.
it does sort of have that vibe of like it's all orchestrated. We put in one ghost face that was easy, and then we got all the kids in a bar, but there is no mastermind and there is no reason.
Mm,
Because I would have bought if there had been something at the end that was like, we needed you to think you were safe to kill the first one. We needed all the kids in this bar from but like the work for that isn't done. And so instead you kind of are just like crazy neighbor. Also, here's Joel McHale, who survived all the stab wounds.
Got stabbed to
We
death.
pulled
That's
him
all we
out
thought.
for some reason.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and then the movie just sort of ends.
it just ends. It ends. It ends. Let me tell you, this is how I knew. I was like, oh, this movie just doesn't care. Joe McHale gets carted off into the hospital van, and then they close the doors, and Sydney doesn't get in the ambulance with him, nor does
I gotta go talk to
Tatum.
Tatum.
I'm gonna go talk to Tatum, and then we will gain Gale, and we
And
will walk
Gail's
off
gonna,
slowly to go to the hospital to
you guys want to ride to the hospital?
let
Let's go
me.
get
Your husband is
milkshakes,
dying.
team. It reminded me of the ending of the new, I know you did last summer, where they're just at the beach at the end, like having snacks and are like, oh, this was wacky.
And it's great because like the talk that Sydney has with Tatum is very good. It's like, hey, I gave you the name Tatum because she was the strongest person I knew. Like it
Should have been in the
works.
middle.
It just doesn't work at that time because you're like, hey, there's an important piece to this.
Should
Go
have
check on
been
your
in,
dad.
yep. Should have been in the middle of the movie. Should have gotten
Yeah,
everybody on the same team.
yeah,
She has no remorse about Ben dying after being mean to him the whole time.
yeah.
Which is also why I was like, no, I just want her to trust him. I actually just want her to be like, no, look, I like you, kid, but like, just I kind of wanted her to be like a cool mom. Like I sort of was like, this would almost be more fun if she was now so prepared and have like a psychological breakdown of people like so to the point where she could just be like, yeah, I know you're not a killer, Ben.
Yeah.
That would have been a good moment. If he's like, I'm a nice guy. And she'd just be like, no, I know. Let me show you something. And it was just like, oh, she's a chill, fun person, but she is also like nuts.
I
Like,
think,
I actually have all these ways to beat you, and I have a
yeah.
psychological breakdown that leads me to believe that you would never be a killer. So you're fine to come into this house. Goodbye.
I think my final and big takeaway with this is that this movie should have been more about a killer coming after Tatum as opposed to Sydney. And because it was still coming after Sydney, nothing really Tatum is a proxy. And so like even if you're saying, hey, oh, you finally experienced what I've experienced, she hasn't. She experienced as a afterthought to them still coming after you, Sydney. You are still the person that
Yeah.
everybody's coming after.
Well, and it's
And
like you
that
said at
sort of
the
just weakens everything.
it's like you said at the top, and I think it gets into the like, why are we redoing this of it? Obviously we're trying to make a comment on AI. I think Scream is usually fun to do for these podcasts because it's very easy to be like, here's what we're talking about and where we are in the horror genre. And I none of that's here.
Hmm.
And I think you said it earlier where you're like, it just isn't a Scream movie. And I think that my biggest takeaway might be like, oh, it's time for this to go away for a
It
long
kind of the
time.
what was the gap between 4 and 5 was 11, 10, 11 years. I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of where we're at. We've hit that button like, hey, let's pause on this for a minute.
Yeah,
Let let's let
it's
horror redefine and figure itself out a little bit, and then let's come back and say something about that once we get
it's
there.
either time to go or it's time to go really big. Like I
Hmm.
still am like, okay, fine. We've done the stew nonsense. We've put that to bed. We insulted the entire fan base who wanted that. There is now no one left to come back. We brought back Hayden Panettiere. I think she died
No, she's
when
alive.
we
She's
brought.
alive.
She's alive. Okay,
She's
so
alive.
okay, then
Because she,
somebody
but she
else I want
told
back
the
in this
girls,
movie.
she told the girls, Melissa and Jenna,
That's right.
the
They like
Carpenter
put,
sisters, like, hey, if you need me, come and get me. But because
yeah.
they're not in
Oh,
it, she's not attached anymore because
so
she sort
this
of had the connection there.
this is what I almost am like, no, it needs to do something. We need an end game. We
We do. We
need,
need to bring them all together. And I think whatever you do, either Gail or one of the two brother and sister needs to die in the cold open. It needs to be like
yep,
Cotton and Three, like we're
yep.
opening, killing
It needs to be
one of your
something
main.
big. I think
Yeah.
we need to let go of it being about nostalgia and really kind of look at horror movies now. And I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing, and because we've done the sequel, we did the trilogy, we did the reboot, we did the requel. Six was just kind of its own thing, and then this was just throws it away
Yeah.
entirely. Entirely is
Yeah.
like no more rules. I almost think then the next one would have to be like, the rules are now more important than ever. Like it almost
Hmm.
needs to kind of be a statement on like how bad a lot of these
Like
movies are getting.
we got off the rail.
This is
We
getting
got off the rail.
rough.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is a good moment for if there's anybody else you could even bring back as a killer, it would be a good moment for Stu to come back and be like, I'm so tired. I've been watching all of you do this for so long and you're so bad at it.
Yeah.
Like that would be fun for him to also like be crazy like he was in that first
Hmm.
one of just like, come on, guys. Like, and if he could almost just get like a few, like have like a team and it just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna run this play until it
Yeah.
works. And then you could go get everybody, get Melissa, get Jenna, get Hayden, get everyone back
Hmm.
and have it be like, oh, I have all of you. I have
Yeah.
all of you back. Who's gonna do it? Put it in one location, do a ready or not, and just have them trapped from the jump. And
Yeah.
but it's what a bummer. It really
Yeah.
this I think is the like I wasn't the biggest fan of six, but I liked it enough. This is the first time where I really walked out and was like, oh, we made a bad Scream movie. Like we made a
Yeah.
bad this is a bad movie.
I have
Like
mine reversed. I liked five. I love six, but this, to your point, like we've always said that we could walk out. I'm like, well, there's not a bad Scream movie. I feel like that time has changed now.
I almost think if you do another one, like if they announce one, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It's time to put it in space. It's time to be the weird horror movie. It's time to do what all the other ones did, where it's Jason X and Friday the what and Goes to Hell, and just do something go weird. Be weird
Yeah.
for to do one that's bonkers.
Yeah.
Like ugh, or do something. The AI deepfakes. What a boring idea. What a nothing statement. Like what a
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that they did it and then had nothing. There's no payoff other than like, oh, we're showing
no.
the greatest hits.
We're doing this early, so there's no box office for it, but it does have the lowest Rotten Tomato score of the entire franchise.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, yeah, time to go home. Time to put this one out. You can leave us a review or a comment on our Hollywood Already Did It YouTube page, where Terrence also has our trailer reactions and TV reviews. We're also on Twitter and TikTok at Hollywood ADI. I'm at, as always, Blake, and Terrence is at Terrence Tatum, and we will see everybody next time.
Later.